Yes, we have a verdict, so as long as it doesn't last until past 2:10, I will be able to stay and watch with you guys, because after that, I have to go pick up the boy children, but we will continue to watch the trial just to see. Yeah, we have a verdict from what they've tweeted out, or at least Law and Crime says we have a verdict. Look, some weeks life happens and, family stuff comes first. 13-year-old daughter turning into an official teenager goes first. Eris, you have done a wonderful job being a moderator. And I feel sorry for whoever has the death penalty case with a second seat lawyer. She looks really awesome in red. No, I was trying to be nicer. My goal is to say one nice thing about someone every day and then like a bajillion mean things to everyone else. I'm. Working on myself. It is what it is. I know. Whoever is the death penalty case person that second chair lawyer is doing, get a new I will let me see if I can look at the chat to see how long they were out. Well, and let's see. Okay, so Law and Crime thinks he's super de duper guilty. Are we shocked? So 85% say guilty. Um, let's see here. Uh, usually they have well, let me switch from their top chat to live chat, maybe. Verdict reached. I have no idea. Um, no, Antron Hemingway, I believe so Jamie told me that, the verdict has been reached. Now, it's muted until I think the jury comes in. Thank you guys for coming over. Yes. And I'm still gonna cover the, defense because I wanna see what the defense okay, 4 hours of deliberation. Thank you so much, reindeer. Hey, Mo, fast group. Greetings, greedy bloke. Um, and yes, we're just looking so it looks like, yeah, as I said, Law and Crime is oh, thank you. Hey, Tiri. So hopefully they'll get this done before 2:10 because then they actually have to leave. Fry was happy because I was on a walk and he was not ready to walk. Yes, it is verdict. No, there is a verdict. There was apparently 4 hours of deliberation. 4 hours and 30 minutes. Now, I do know there was one juror who was really worried about, possibly having to, refund her non-refundable tickets for her vacation, so I'm just saying, yay, Baker. Oh, we did get I did get a stroller, and, Fry's doing pretty good walking, but the cat really likes it, so the cat may go in the stroller. You're welcome. Regardless of the verdict, I'm still going to do the rest of the days of the trial just to see what the defense brought in, and I'm a completionist. It will haunt me. Yeah, we're always civil, we're sometimes
Court is back in session. The Honorable Judge Howard Coates presiding.
All right, good afternoon. Everyone may be seated.
I don't wanna see law and crime chat anymore. What is our verdict?
All right, court is back in session on State versus Farrader. Let me have appearances, please. All right, court has been advised that the jury has reached a verdict. Are all sides ready to proceed? All right, Mark, you may bring the jurors out.
I know it does feel a bit like reading the last chapter before finishing. Hey, Sal, I know it's really weird, I feel like we shouldn't be doing this.
All rise.
Jury entering.
All right, everyone may be seated. All right, members of the jury, has the jury selected a foreperson? And that's you, Mr. Bushy? All right, Mr. Bushy, has the jury reached a verdict in this matter? No, you can just tell me yes or no, has the jury reached a verdict? All right, if you could please hand the verdict to my courtroom deputy.
Uh, 4.5 hours, Murph's turf. Excuse me, 4.5 hours.
Madam Clerk, please publish the verdict.
In the Circuit Court of the 15th Judicial Circuit, Criminal Division in and for Palm Beach County, Florida, case number 22 CF 001136 BMB Division B. State of Florida versus Timothy Dunn Farrader. Defendant. Verdict. We, the jury, find as follows. As to count one, we find the defendant guilty of aggravated child abuse as charged in the information. As to count two, we find the defendant guilty of false imprisonment as charged in the information. As to count three, we find the defendant guilty of neglect of a child as charged in the information. So we say all this 12th day of October 2023 in West Palm Beach, Florida, signed by the jury foreperson.
All right, does either side wish to have the jury polled? All right, so ladies and gentlemen, there's been a request to have the jury polled, and that simply means that each of you will be asked the question of whether the verdict is your verdict or not. If it is, you should only answer yes. If it is not, of course, you should answer no and nothing further. So Madam Clerk, at this time, if you could please poll the jury.
Oh, crap.
Juror 1, were the verdicts as read your verdict? Juror 2, were the verdicts as read your verdicts? Juror 3, were the verdicts as read your verdicts? Juror 4, were the verdicts as read your verdicts? Juror 5, were the verdicts as read your verdicts? Juror 6, were the verdicts as read your verdicts?
All right, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, at this time, this concludes your service to your community in this matter. I want to thank you for the time and commitment that you've made to this case. It went a lot longer than I'd originally estimated. But in any event, I watched all of you during the course of the trial. You did exactly what I had requested. You stayed focused and tuned into the evidence during all phases of the case. And I hope everyone has a much better appreciation of the great responsibility that comes with serving as a juror in our community. So with that, I do want to thank you. My bailiff will give you a letter of thanks from me. Also, a certificate of appreciation from the Palm Beach County Bar Association, and a short little survey that I'll just ask that you return it when you get some time. Other than that, I do wish the best to all of you. And with that, you're excused. And Mark, you may escort the jurors out.
Okay, so the deal he was offered was 2 years in prison and 5 years probation. Now that he's been found guilty, he is looking at up to 40 years in prison. So his bond will be revoked and he's going to be put into prison.
All right, everyone may be seated. All right, Ms. Coakley, anything that I need to address as far as adjudication in accordance with the verdict?
He doesn't have a prior adjudication, but it is aggravated child abuse is a first degree felony, so we'd request adjudication at this time. We'd also ask that he be remanded into custody at this time,
Okay,
pending sentencing.
Ms. Murat?
Your Honor, I would request that the court, as to him being remanded, he has been out of custody for 2 years without any issues or any violations of bond. If the court is inclined to remand him, my request is that the court put him on a monitor. He does have a place that he can live in Palm Beach County. He has no criminal record whatsoever, and he has no custody of any of the children.
Okay. All right, so the court, I'm going to adjudicate the defendant in accordance with the verdict, guilty of the charge of aggravated child abuse, guilty of the charge of false imprisonment, and guilty of neglect. At this time, I'm going to remand the defendant to the custody of the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Department. That's without prejudice for you to file any type of motion that you deem appropriate, Ms. Murad, for pretrial release or release during pending appeal. This ruling today is without prejudice for me to receive that and consider that at the appropriate time. Let me get an idea as to what the state is looking for in terms of a sentencing hearing.
I can do it as soon as the defense can be ready. He is entitled to a PSI. I don't know what the defense's position is as to that.
I will waive PSI, Your Honor. This is a sentencing that I should be able to get done relatively quickly. Should the court have time in 2 or 3 weeks?
I'll make whatever time that I have to expedite sentencing if that's what both sides request.
That's fine, Your Honor. I won't need more than 20 or 30 minutes
I don't
for
know.
my presentation.
All right, so Ms. Murad,
I would need an hour to hour and a half.
so I'm going to set aside 2 hours for sentencing. And Cynthia, let's pick a date on an afternoon for 2-hour setting. No earlier than 3 weeks out. That should be enough time for you to do what you have to do, Ms. Murad, but no more than 5 weeks. So in that 2-week period there, let's pick a 2-hour setting. All right, does that date work for everybody? November 16th for sentencing?
Here,
Yes.
November
For the state?
16th.
1 second to get to that. Yes, you said Thursday or a Monday?
Thursday, November 16th.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at October. So sorry. Yes, that is fine with the state.
All right, so the sentencing of this matter is set for Thursday, November 16th at, what was the time, 2:30? 1:30, 2 hours reserved. All right, anything
yes,
else the court needs to address before we adjourn?
No, you're not. We are going to need to do a status. I know Miss Marshall's in here. We're going to need to do a status check because I don't think we have a future date on Ms. Farrader.
Would we do it the same day as the sentencing?
That'd be fine, if you're good with
I
that.
might reach out to Miss Marshall about having something having it next week so we can get,
Whenever you want to come in will be fine with me. The morning docket, as you know, is generally pretty heavy, so one more hearing is not going to make a huge difference. Okay. All right, so then that concludes the court's business today. I do want to thank both sides for a professionally presented case. We had a couple hiccups here and there, but over the course of an 8-day trial,
Oh,
that's to be
thank you.
expected. But thanks to both sides for the
And JKD Buck, we are actually only on we are going into day 4. So I am still going to run this trial tomorrow on day 4. And that starts, I believe, ends the state's case and goes into the defense. I still want to see what the defense presented. I will say that the second chair on the defense was just god awful. And I really don't understand why he didn't take the plea deal. I understand on the principle of the thing. I really get on the principle of the thing where you feel like you are doing the right thing for your family, or you feel that, whatever you feel. But and I am risk averse. I will go ahead and say I am risk averse. So when offered a plea deal looking at 40 years or 2 years, and you're going to get good time behavior and all that other junk and possibly, overcrowding days off and all this other stuff. Plea deal. They're not I don't know. I don't know. This case leaves us with no answers. As David said, turn to the state. The state is going to apparently give you the right answer. And the state's answer is going to be the parents are at fault either way, I guess. If your kid does a heinous atrocity because you didn't watch them and you let them run wild, then, it's your fault. And if you tried to keep them and locked in, then it's also your fault. So I don't know. But I will say that the second chair defense attorney is just terrible. Yeah, that's what I don't understand. I don't know if his defense team said, "No, we'll get you out of it. We will." No matter what. I don't know what they said, or if he was just so confident that people would see, or if they thought that they were going to be able to get a lot of the victims, aggressive behavior that wasn't allowed in court, but they lost a lot of motions in limine. I don't know.
commendable job that each of you did. All right, thank you. Remanded 0 bond, but that's without prejudice for a subsequent motion to be filed. And if you have the orders on adjudication, I'll go ahead and sign those now. All right, so I'll remain here to sign the judgment and the adjudication. That'll be fine. So I'll remain on the bench because I have a long walk back to my courtroom, so it's better I just stay here. You can, thank you.
That was a fairly quick verdict. There's cousin Lemmy. So I will stop this here, guys, because I have to get ready to get kids. Yeah, she was the one that was actually doing a lot of cover-up stuff because Timothy was out of state, or I think out of the country, when police actually arrived to the scene and found the room, box, cell, whatever you want to call it. Now, I don't know the location or whereabouts of the other children. I don't know if they're in the system. Um, you can call the professionals for help. What I want to see from the defense, since I haven't seen the defense, I want to see what steps they took, because maybe the defense will show that they really didn't take a lot of concrete steps to find help, and that colored things. He can get up to 40 years. So maybe the defense didn't show persuasively that they did all that a reasonable person should have done, could have done, would have done. I don't know. We personally, my stream, this channel, haven't seen the defense side. So we will be starting the defense case tomorrow. I don't like this verdict, but I could see how you could reach it, if that makes sense. I could very much see how you could reach it. And that's why as a weenie, as a person who plays calculated risks, I would have taken the plea deal. Not because I want the system to run over people or anything like that, but because I can, with the videos, with everything else, I could just see it very easily being a guilty case. And those aren't odds I want to play. But just like in my Turtle Boy video, I'm not a confrontational person. So a lot of his style doesn't appeal to me because I'm not a confrontational person. So I couldn't be an investigative reporter. I couldn't get in someone's face. So I don't know. I only offer my opinions, but as I always say, I am simply a redhead on the internet shouting into a microphone. Any and all life advice should only be taken by from Dr. Phil and Dr. Ruth. More Dr. Ruth than Dr. Phil. And what I will say is that this judge seems to be paying attention. This judge seems to have really taken in a lot of the information. And this judge, what I have noticed about this trial is this judge very carefully, and he'll almost always offer a split kind of, objection to this part of the question, but sustained on this part of the question. Definitely, he takes it and he definitely thinks about the law. So I don't know that I see him giving the maximum sentences. I don't know. I see him being very considerate, but I could be wrong. I mean, but that is where I'm going to end today. So catch me on the flip side tomorrow for more court, chaos, current events, and crime. We will be doing nightly newsy news tonight, and then I will be joining Kaiser Pineapple for scary movie reviews, I think. And then I will be staying up past my bedtime. It will be a banner night. Then tomorrow we will be doing, morning news, and then this trial. So we'll kind of be doing, a retro react sort of. But I will see you all later. Have a wonderful rest of your day if I don't see you again. If you want to try out Nightly Newsy News, the news you never knew you needed, with wacky news stories and no Mesopotamia news, if I can help it. Look, sometimes I can't find news that isn't Mesopotamia news, but I'm trying. I will be here at 7 p.m. with Fry, possibly, unless he's being a little dork.